There's so many dogs. I gradually think there might be hidden meaning to that. But even if that is true, what does it mean then? When you're engaged in the path of spirituality and awareness, you have surely asked yourself that question more than once. What does it mean? Why is this happening? Why is it happening to me? And those questions even get more interesting when I believe those who claim that everything happens for a reason. And I can tell you that much. Indeed, everything happens for a reason. But for those situations affecting you, you are that reason. But nevertheless, it is always up to you to listen to those messages due to free will. So today I want to give you an example about what is really possible when you learn to listen and to see the connections between you and the reality affecting you. Especially my experience with animals will be in focus. So during my last months and years of my awakening process, I encountered particularly 3 different kinds of animals that started to follow me around wherever I went. Later on, that got so obvious that I came up with the question whether there is more to those sightings than just seeing them. And as a result of my subsequent research, I stumbled across an article in the internet that claimed to have answers to all that. According to that site, it was the universe or some sort of higher dimension communicating through animals. At first, all that seemed so incredible that I took 2 steps away from it in order to calm myself down first. It really was one of those occasions. I evaluated myself as crazy. Also, because those occurrences just faded away afterwards. But as usual with those kinds of situations, it only leaves you temporarily in order to come back even stronger and to raise your attention even more. So we're talking about my initial awakening process, and the longer it lasted, the opener I became to such kinds of topics, and as a result of that, I gave this website a second chance. And afterwards, I really had to confess how scary it can be when some strange website is able to tell private personal aspects of your past and your presence in such a precise manner. And no, I'm not talking about the NSA or some sort of government observation product, I don't know. Of course, they also know a lot about you, but sometimes you learn something about yourself neither you nor the government had known before. So the first thing I want to mention is my frequent encounter with the bunny. Without losing too many words, the bunny stands for luck, happiness and creativity. But on the other side, it stands for fear and timidity. And at this time I saw it frequent. I was in Spain due to that deal I had with my uncle back then. And indeed I was very happy and also creative. But further, I was very shy because I could barely speak this language down there. And furthermore, I was very afraid. I was very frightened of my future because I didn't know where the spiritual path I was on would lead me after all. But moreover, I was still far away from seeing the bigger picture in all that. Only as I encountered more messages and with them more animals, I was now able, finally, to decipher the meaning of all that. So additionally to the bunny, I also came across a lot of cats, and when I was back in Germany, I saw an incredible amount of magpies. But before, I witnessed this cat overflow down there in Spain. Although we were living in a village termed as cat epidemic, I didn't see many of them until then, only as the rabbit has left me. I saw those cats popping up basically everywhere. So one day I only saw about 2 of them, but from one day to another I suddenly spectated the massive appearance of maybe 20. And because of that remarkable difference I'm able to discern, or primarily to remember all that, because in order to remember something that vividly, It needs to be some sort of unusual, and exactly that was it. And this magpie appearance following to that wasn't ordinary either. Because whenever I looked outside the window, I saw at least one sitting there or flying around. From time to time I really had to smile because of that. I was like, oh, there it is again. But I only thought about it, instead of taking action and investigating closer. But exactly that changed recently. Precisely when those sightings reached their peak during the last couple of weeks, shortly before I started with this YouTube thing, I got kind of overwhelmed due to this magpie presence. It was like a message so clear and distinct, but I was still unable to understand it. It was like somebody doing the pantomimes. But the whole time, I basically had the clear and distinct answer right in front of me. I only had to look closer. I only had to combine those messages with the situation I was in currently in order to find finally a solution, or at least an approach to a solution. So the cat and the magpie share quite a similar meaning. The cat is often referred to as clever, intuitive, adventurous, and independent, whereas the magpie symbolizes primarily taking risks and following one's intuition. Now with all them in contemplation, it finally made sense somehow, because only after I followed my intuition and took this leap of action, I was finally able to fathom what those messages were trying to tell me. And the strange thing is, while I was in the process of following my intuitive nudges, I felt better than ever before. And further, those animalistic occurrences just faded away. They just disappeared magically all at the same time. Now what I want to say with that is, if you're feeling lonely or abandoned sometimes, just know that there is always somebody or something watching over you, whether you're aware of that or not. I have been in this negative spiral too, suffocated by negativity and all that stuff. I have signed up in that club as well, but then I learned to listen to those messages trying to show me the way out of there for good. So when I say help yourself first, or learn to listen, what I mean is simply, look around you very closely and be aware that there might be hidden messages to a better life, only waiting for you to be explored. Once again, awareness is key to a brighter future. But also important is your will to change those things that need to be changed. Now with that having said, I believe in you, my friends, and keep in mind that you can accomplish anything you wish, as long as you stay true to yourself, and as long as you reach for the stars. Stay aware. Until next time.